Good morning, friends. I'm again with the chapter that is respiration in human being. In my last chapter, I have discussed about mechanism of respiration, and I had begun with inspiration. Inspiration, as I told you, flow of atmospheric air or oxygen into the lungs is called as inspiration or exhalations. In this inspiration, there are two muscles involved in this case. One is intercostal muscle or external intercostal muscles, and another is diaphragm. I am going to draw a diagram for you. Here, this is lungs. I am going to draw a rough diagram here to show what happens in the inspiration stage. These are the lungs. This stage is the resting stage, and here it is a dome or convex shaped muscle is present below the two lungs. This is called diaphragm. Here, this is diaphragm. It is a convex shaped muscle towards downward, and it present near to the lungs when lung is in resting stage or no inspiration occurs in that stage. This is resting stage. Resting stage, or you can say this is the pause stage where limited amount of air present and the lungs and diaphragm are present in their original position. Here, when air enters into the body, here, or oxygen enters into the body, the lungs above the lungs, rib cage are protected it, and between the rib cage external intercostal muscles are present to give a firm shape to the rib cage, and it protect the lungs. Here, when air enters into the lungs, the lung shape is somewhat increased in its than the original size. Why it happens? To retain or draw more oxygen from the atmosphere. This is oxygen, and the shape of the lungs. Here, this is it, and the shape increased, and this diaphragm becomes flattened, not convex. In this position, then it flattened towards downside or downward of the lungs, because it gives the space, more space to carry more oxygen. This is diaphragm. And this intake of oxygen process is called as inspiration or inhalation. And the external intercostal muscles moves outward, like upward. You have noticed that when you inhale air, your chest or rib cage swells upward. That is due to the contraction of external intercostal muscle. This contraction gives space to draw more air and fill the lungs, and this occurs due to the pressure gradient. Pressure gradient means in the fast position, fastest, the pressure in the outside air, pressure in outside is more than the pressure inside is less. That's why There is the movement of pressure from higher pressure to lower pressure to maintain the equilibrium state. That's why inspiration occurs and the air from outside enters into the lungs and inspiration occurs. This is the basic mechanism of inspiration. So here inspiration I am going to discuss about. This is, you can write it, process of inspiration. So now we will discuss what happened during this inspiration. First, intake of oxygen occurs already, and as a result of intake of oxygen, lungs are enlarged in this process. Air, the fresh air drawn into the lungs. Third physical event, there is two physical events occur. One is diaphragm moves downward. Diaphragm moves downward and becomes flattened, where in resting stage or normal stage it is dome shaped or convex shaped. And second event is the external intercostal muscle. The external intercostal muscle contracts. These two events occurs to increase the retaining or carrying capacity of lungs, that is oxygen. Diaphragm, which is dome shaped, becomes flattened and external intercostal muscles contract. As a result, the thoracic muscles swells outward and downward to give more space to the lungs. Here, as a result, the thoracic muscle swells outward and downward, that is in diaphragm, to give more space to the lungs. Why? To carry more oxygens. The contraction of the intercostal muscles pulls the rib. Why contraction occurs? They pulls the ribs outward and the sternum as well as the intercostal muscle increase the thoracic space. Thus volume of the thoracic space increased on all sides, leading to decrease of air pressure in the lungs. So in the last video I already told that volume is inversely proportional to pressure. If volume increases, pressure decreases. Here volume increases, pressure is less, and so that more air enters into the lungs from the outside. At the time the air pressure inside the body is low and outside is high. Hence at this time the there is a difference in pressure gradient. The outside air pressure is high and inside that is lungs is low. Hence air flows rapidly through the respiratory tract. That is, here this is bronchi or respiratory tract, and fill up the expanded lungs. Until the pressure outside and inside lungs becomes equal. This is the mechanism of inspiration or input of oxygen into the lungs. Thank you friends for watching. In my next video I will discuss about expiration and pause. Bye. These are all about mechanism of respiration.